So going back to Joshua, this shows that there was a plan constructed by our Heavenly Father, the Most High, to bring us back to Him as we once were, and to be an example through the way of living, which is action, teaching, which is knowledge and righteousness. So that's exactly what Jesus came to actually offer to us, which was His teachings, His knowledge, and His righteousness. And righteousness means right, being a right type of man or woman. So steadily going back to the creation of God, the Elohim, showing His imagination, which can be found in the pre-existence of the universe. I'm gonna read a verse from Genesis, because it's talking about God's creation, God creating the universe. So it says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, let there be light. And there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness. So before God could actually create everything, there had to be a pre-existent phase. There had to be a type of foundation that God actually discovered before He could bring everything up to life when He said, let there be light. Because I'm sure you can't just say, let there be light. There had to be a phase of work that God had to do to discover that light, to create that light. Because we can't move off spookism. Like, I don't really like moving off spookism when it comes to God, the Most High, because God is real. He's as real as you and me. So I don't want it to be like a spook, because God is not a spook. He's a real, living, supreme being that works, that actually works and works through phases as well. And that's through His own imagination. So, going from that verse in Genesis, I want to read a chapter, well, not a chapter, but a part in this book called The Nun of the Eternal Waters of Immortality. So this book is by the teacher Kaba Hiawatha Kamene, and it's called the Shabaka Stone. If you can see it here, it's called the Shabaka Stone. And it's about an African theory on the origin and continuing development of the cosmic universe. So I'll speak about what Nun means, and because it speaks about like ancient Kemetic deities, so ancient Egyptian deities, that are also aspects of God, but it touching a bit more deeper, basically covering from what the Bible says, basically just interpreting the Bible, but going just a bit more deeper, so you can understand in the pre-existent phase of life. So let me read, please listen clearly. So it says here, the Nun, the eternal waters of immortality. Before the beginning began, before existence existed, before all the fundamental atoms and elements, before movement and creative intelligence, there was only the Nun. An eternal presence called many things. It was plasma, ether, water, and hydrogen. So these are real elements that we can see in our body and through things out in the universe. The Nun had no beginning and it had no end. The characteristics of the Nun pre-existed potentially within the Nun. These 8 characteristics came in both female and male elementary forms. They were matter and space, infinity, finity, dark and light, hidden and revealed. So they were all opposites each other, which made them male and female, masculine and feminine. Everything always has an opposite. There's always a right and a left. There's always an up and a down. There's always an in and an out. There's always an outside and an inside. The Nun was the place where many would emerge as the entities that would become cosmic universe. Nun was the immortal totality of knowable consciousness. The cosmic universe was created by what came out of 8 uncreated creations. So everything has always been in existence. Everything that we see in this life has always been in existence, but they were always in a lower form. But they just had to go from one level to another level, one level to another level. And that all derived from Nun. And Nun is that water that God's Spirit was hovering over. Not water that you drink like H2O, but it was a certain type of water that could emerge life. And life was in that water. Hence why when a mother is pregnant, the baby is in the mother's womb and is full and it's just water. Like a reptile. Hence why we need water to survive. We need water to be clean. We need water to live. And those elements that are there, like plasma, ether, and hydrogen, that's what we need to survive. So, ancient Kush Kemet scholars call that Neteru Nun. The uncreated creations are the attributes and characteristics of all things that always pre-existed at rest within the Nun. So everything has always been in existence. Everything that we see now has always been in existence. God had that imagination. God planned. He planned out every single step of the way, and that's what we need to do for our lives also. For our lives, we can't just wait on God. We need to plan. Even though we need to worship God and give God glory and pray to God so He can give us strength to do everything, that's what we need from God. We just need strength. But we need to plan out our lives. We need to write it down. We need to know what we're going to do in steps and steps and steps, because that's what God did. That's what the Bible is trying to teach us. God is not lazy. God is a creator. He never stops creating. Until now, there's things that we don't see that God's still creating. Because you never know, tomorrow He can just destroy this whole world. He wouldn't care, and just create a new one. This is why we need to give thanks to God, because He's our creator, and He imagined us before we even knew anything. There is going to be a part 2, and I'm going to be reading some parts of the Bible that talks about the imagination of God through different beings, through different people, and and I hope you enjoyed it. I did my best from what I've studied. I'm currently in Nigeria. I've taken a good holiday, a good break, so I've had time to actually rejuvenate my mind, and I feel like everyone should do so as well. Because we don't ever want to stay the same, we need to always want to grow, because whenever you wake up every day, every second, we're getting closer to the grave, but you don't want to make that in vain. You want to be learning, you want to be studying, so when we do go to another place that God has set for us, but we don't know where yet, we want to be aligned with God. We want to go back to God with more information than we came with. So this life is just a lesson for us to learn and for us to enjoy as well, because life's all about enjoying as well. We need to enjoy life. It's not a punishment. But obviously this life has engraved Satan in it, and has engraved attributes of horror in it. So people can't live a life that God actually created for us through love, which you can see through the wars that's happening right now. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. I will see you another time, but I hope it won't be as long as this. I'm trying to be more consistent, so I'm going to be trying to do my thing as well. But I hope you enjoyed it. Stay blessed. God bless. Have a blessed day.